I'd tell you a story that happened to me. One day as I went down to York by the sea. Oh, the day was bright, the sun it was warm. Says I had quite hunger, didn't do me no harm. I went and I called for a bottle of stout. Well, I'm sorry, said the barkeep, all the beer is sold out. Try whiskey or paddy, 10 years in the woods. Says I can't try cider, I've heard that that's good. Well, I'm never again if I live to see 100 or 110. I fell to the ground, I couldn't get up after drinking the quart of that Johnny Jump Up. After downing the third, I went into the yard where I called into Roby that big cigar. Come here to me, boy, don't you know I'm the law? I up with my fist and I shattered his jaw. He fell to the ground with his knees doubled up, but it wasn't I that hit him, 'twas the Johnny Jump Up. The next thing I met down in York by the sea was a cripple on crutches, and said he to me, I'm afraid for my life I'd be hit by a car. Could you help me across to the railwayman's bar? And after a pint of the cider so sweet, he threw down his crutches and danced on the street. Well, I'm never again if I live to see 100 or 110. I fell to the ground, I couldn't get up after drinking a quart of that Johnny Jump Up. I went up to the Lee Road, a friend for to see. They call it the madhouse down in Cork by the Lee. And when I got there, oh, the truth I do tell, they had that poor bugger locked up in a cell. The guard testing him, say these words if he can. Around the ragged rocks, so the ragged rascal ran. Tell them I'm not crazy, tell them I'm not mad. It was only a sup of the cider I had. Well, I'll never again if I live to see 100 or 110. I fell to the ground, I couldn't get up after drinking a quart of that Johnny Jump Up. A man died in the Union by the name of McNabb. They washed him, they laid him outside on a slab. And after his measurements, the coroner did take. His wife brought him home to a bloody fine wake. It was about 12 o'clock when the fever was high. The corpse he stood up and he said with a sigh, I can't get to heaven, for they won't let me up until I bring them a quart of that Johnny Jump Up. Well, I'm never again if I live to see 100 or 110. I fell to the ground, I couldn't get up after drinking a quart of that Johnny Jump Up.
Two, three, tell me Ma, when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. Pull my hair, stole my comb, that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she's a belle of Belfacity. She's courting 1, 2, 3, please tell me who is she? Albert Mooney says he loves her, all the boys are fighting for. Rapping on the door and the ring of the bells, saying, oh my true love, are you well? Out she comes as white as snow, with the rings on her fingers and bells on her toes. Jenny Murphy says she'll die, she doesn't get the fellow with the roving eye. Tell me Ma, when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. Pull my hair, stole my comb, that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she's a belle of Belfacity. She's courting 1, 2, 3, please won't you tell me who is she? falling from the sky. She's as nice as apple pie, and she'll get her own that by and by. When she gets a lad of her own, she won't tell her ma when she comes home. Let the boys come as they will, it's Albert Mooney she loves still. I tell you, ma, when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. Oh, my hair, stole my comb, that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she's a belle of all Town City. She's courting 1, 2, 3, please let her tell me who is she.
To hear your stories again. I have wandered through this land from end to end, and I've come home through the firefly darkness to sing with you again.
Oh, good afternoon, fair people. My name's Judas, and that lovely voice you just heard was Magnolia. Thank you for opening up the digital doorway into your homes. Today we have a very special set of songs, stories, and magic for you. Now, this is a set that we generally reserve for our dearest friends and our closest fans. These are songs and stories that we've collected from around the world. We believe they show loving kindness and understanding. Do you know what? Based on what's going on in the world today, we believe that everybody could use a little bit more loving kindness and understanding. So that we're happy. You know, we're honored to be able to share it with you today. In just a moment from now, I'm going to say, would you like to hear a story today? And generally, at a festival, the whole crowd yells out, a story! But you know what, folks? These days are a little bit different. There's no crowd to yell it, so we're going to count on you. Here's what I need from you, folks. If you would type in the comments, a story, and press that heart button. No, wait, no. Better yet, wherever you are, stand up off your couch and yell, a story! Yell it so loud that your next door neighbor bangs on the wall and says, "What are you doing over there?" And you say, "Well, I'm watching Life's a Fair. Tune in to see Judas and Magnolia." Can you folks do that for us? We're going to count on you. Let's give it a try. Would you like to hear a story today? Oh. Did you hear that, Magnolia?
Uh-huh.
I can hear him from here.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Now, this story takes place on a warm, sunny day, very much like today here in Texas. There's a grandmother and her grandson. They were strolling down the beach, and out of nowhere, a wave sweeps over them and withdraws. And the grandson was missing. So the grandmother, you would understand it, she becomes distraught. And she starts looking everywhere for her grandson and pleads to the heavens for his return. And out of nowhere, a second wave sweeps over her and withdraws. And there in her very arms was her grandson. Why, she looks at her grandson. She looks up towards heaven and she says, "He had a hat." You know, folks, that's a silly story. We believe it has a moral to it. Let's overlook the small things today, and let's be happy for that time we have with the people we love and cherish, because you never know when that time is going to come to an end. So if you happen to be with somebody you love and care about, why don't you take a moment, look over at them, give them a smile, and let them know you're thinking of them. Now, if you happen to be quarantined with somebody, now you happen to not be quarantined with somebody you love and care about, if they happen to be far away, why don't you just type their names into the comments? I'm sure it'll reach them through the digital airwaves. Now, speaking of people I love and care about, I'd like to turn this next bit over to Magnolia here for a song.
Thanks, dear. Now, in that last story, it talked about a family, and so many of us are spending more time with our families these days. And, with this month being the month of Mother's Day, and next month being Father's Day, this next song is for anyone who has parents. Maybe that's you. Be kind to your parents, though they don't deserve it. Remember they're grown-ups, a difficult stage of life. They're apt to be nervous and overexcited, confused by their daily storm and strife. Just keep in mind, though it seems odd, I know, most parents once were children long ago. Incredible. So treat them with patience and sweet understanding, in spite of the foolish things they do. Someday you may wake up and find you're a parent too. Who knows?
Oh, thank you, Magnolia.
Thank you, dear.
Would you good people like to hear another story? Oh, I'm glad you said yes. Because if you said no, this would be a very short show. Now, this second story takes place in a wee little village in Ireland. And in this wee little village, there was a wee little church. Oh, it's a type of church that everybody would gather at on a Sunday. And one Sunday in particular, why, the father, the padre, he was preaching, and he says, "Woe to those people who gamble." Oh, and a lady in the back pew says, "Amen, preacher." So the preacher continues, and he says, "Woe to those people who smoke." Oh, and that lady in the back pew, the lady in the back pew says, "Amen, preacher." So the preacher's invigorated, and he says, "Woe to those people who drink." Oh, and that lady in the back pew says, "Now you're meddling." You know, there's a moral to the story as well, however silly it is. Let's not look too closely at the faults of others, because we sure would hate it if they looked too closely at our faults. Now for something beautiful, something not quite as silly, I'd love to turn it over again to the beautiful Magnolia.
Oh, thanks. Now, that last story was about a church, and it reminds me of this next song, which actually I learned from some Brigantine nuns. So here it goes. It's short and sweet, but I like the message, and I hope it speaks to your heart as much as it speaks to mine. In manos tuas, Pater, cormendo spiritum meum, in manos tuas, Pater, cormendo spiritum meum. Into your hands, Father, I commend my spirit. Now, whether or not we believe in that same spirit as those Brigantine nuns, we must all certainly recognize that sometimes there are some things or some people or some situations that are just beyond our control and out of our hands. And in those times, may we all find the serenity to let go of the things that we cannot control, as well as the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thank you.
Would you good people like to hear another story? Oh, I know you would. Oh, now this story takes place, on that very same beach I was telling you about at the beginning. There was an older man out on his morning stroll. When he stumbles, he looks down into the sand and he picks himself up a lamp. He dusts off the lamp, and out from the lamp comes a genie. Why, the genie looks down at the old man and says, "You freed me from the lamp. I will grant you one wish." So the old man thinks about it for a second, and he says, "Genie, my wife has wanted to visit the old country for a long time, but she's afraid of flying, and she's afraid of boats. Genie, will you build us a bridge from here to the old country?" Oh, the genie looks down at the old man and says, "That's a lot to ask for one wish. Can you think of anything else?" So the old man does, and he says, "Genie, would you help me understand American politics?" Well, the genie again looks down at the old man and says, "One lane or two?" You know, you might think this joke has a moral about politics, but that's not where I'm going. No. I want to look at the man's first wish. You know, he only had one, and he was going to spend that wish on the person he loved most, his wife. Might we all be a little bit more like that old man? Now, speaking of the person you love most again, I'd love to turn it over to Magnolia here.
Thanks, dear. Now, in the beginning of that story, there was a woman who just longed to go back home. And this next song is about coming back home. Before we get there, though, I do want to say that things are rather strange right now. And, well, we don't know when we will be back home with you at festivals around the country. But we do know that it's true for us in our lives that when you truly love someone, you must be willing to let them go, knowing that the love that you share will always remain. And we are so grateful that all of you, our friends, our fans, our families all over the world, you let us go and come back with the seasons. Now, like I said earlier, things are a little strange right now, and I don't know when I'll get to see you next, but I hope you know in your heart that we will come back home to you just as soon as we can. So this next song is Homeward Bound. In the quiet, misty morning, when the moon has gone to bed, when the sparrows stop their singing, and the sky is clear and red, when the summer's ceased its gleaming, and when the corn is past its prime, when adventure's lost its meaning, I'll be homeward bound in time. Bind me not to the pasture, and chain me not to a plough. Set me free to find my calling, and I'll return to you somehow. If you find it's me you're missing, and if you're hoping I'll return to your thoughts, I'll soon be racing, and in the road I'll stop and turn, and then the wind will set me racing as my journey nears its end. On my path I'll be retracing when I'm homeward bound again. In the quiet, misty morning, when the moon has gone to bed, when the sparrows stop their singing, I'll be homeward bound again. Thank you, friends. Thank you.
Thank you, Magnolia. You know, we've told a few stories. Why don't we change gears? Would you good people like to see a magic trick? Now, this is a magic trick often done by the great wizard, Harry Houdini.
Ooh.
Oh, Harry would be invited to dinner parties. And while at the meal, oftentimes somebody would say, Harry, do for us a magic trick. And reluctantly, Mr. Houdini would. He would pick up some crackers off the table. He would fan these crackers out. And he would ask somebody to please choose a cracker. Now, I'm going to ask Magnolia to do this for us. He would ask somebody to choose a cracker. Any cracker at all. Any one of them. How spontaneous. Now, it's like everybody to please look at that cracker. Focus on it. It's the one she's holding, not me. Now, you're going to need to recognize this cracker in just a little bit. Take it back from you.
Oh.
Good. Now, he would take this cracker, he would hold it in one hand, and then he would grab it and make it disappear. To do so, he would need a little bit of magic powder. A little bit of magic powder. And it was gone.
Wow!
You know, that's a silly trick, even if you want to call it a trick. It might border stupid.
Oh my.
To me, it says something. I love that trick. And to me, it says, do what you love, even if you're not the best at it, even if you need a little bit of practice. Do what you love in the world. Because sometimes it doesn't matter how impressive something is. It matters how interesting it is. So one of my personal mottos is don't aim to be impressive. Aim to be interesting. And that's something that each and every one of us can do. You know, before Magnolia comes on again, I'm going to take this broom here and sweep the floor a little bit. There we go. Very good. Now, I'd like to turn it over to Magnolia for something special.
And if you would put that out for me. All right, friends. Well, in that last bit, my dearest said that we must do what we love, right? And that is at the heart of what we do, is conveying love for one another. What we do is a bunch of play. There's song and dance and playing with each other, right? But at the center of that, we do what we do because we have love for each other, for our fellow humans, all over the country, all over the world. Well, this next bit is about love. This is Caritas Habundat, and it was written by Hildegard van Bingen. And it says that love is abundant throughout the entire universe for all people in all places. So this song is for you. Thank you, friends.
Oh, and thank you, Magnolia. You know, I've got something different. You know, Magnolia and I, at this point, I would like to introduce you to a dear friend of ours. This is Frank, the mind-reading goose. That's right, Frank knows all. He sees all. And for you good people, Frank will tell more. That's right, he is now an amazing 13% accurate. Now, Frank is getting prepared to read your minds, and the goose here has instructed me as what to say. Here's what Frank would like you to do. Please, think of a number between 1 and 10. Good. Now multiply that number. What was that, Frank? Good. Multiply that number by 9. I'll give you a second. I know math is hard. Good. Once you have a number, if it has 2 digits, I want you to add those digits together. Very good. Now let's subtract whatever number you're thinking of by 5. Okay, I think we all have a number in mind at this point. Now I would like you to correspond that number to a letter of the alphabet. For example, 1 is A, 2 is B, 3 is C, and so forth. Good. Now whatever number you happen to be thinking of, Frank here would like you to think of a country, any country in the world that starts with that letter. Good. Now, whatever the first letter of that country is, I want you to think of the next letter in the alphabet and think of an animal that starts with that letter. Any animal at all. Visualize it in your mind. Frank, are you ready? That's right, you can't say anything. You're a ceramic duck. I will take his silence as yes. Good. Frank says that you are thinking of a gray elephant from Denmark. A round of applause for the mind-reading goose, Frank. Now, if you would like a personal mind reading from Frank, here's a special offer for you today. If you tip Judas and Magnolia $10 or more, Frank will make a personalized video for you where he tells your fortune. If you've never had your fortune told by a goose, this is your opportunity. You know, the whole thing with Frank here, it says something to me. What it says is that we're all far more alike than we are different. We're all going through very similar things these days. And I hope that that can help us show a little bit more kindness, compassion, and understanding for each other. You know, when this gets done, and it will soon enough, I hope that we can look at each other, know that we've all gone through something together, and we can show each other just a wee bit more kindness. End our set. I'd like to turn it over to Magnolia one last time.
Thank you, my dear. Well, the time has come. Now, folks like us, we don't say goodbye. We say something like, see you down the road. And when you're at a festival, your ears might hear something like, merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. That is the title of this next song by Lolly Foy. Here it is. The time has come to say farewell. Godspeed you on your way. Down the road somewhere we'll meet again someday. And though it's time for us to part, I'll hold you always in my heart. And measure my worth in your friendship, but for now I'll say, merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again, in this world or beyond, though the days till then be long, my heart will sing this song on the day when we meet again. There is no road so long or lonesome as the traverse without a friend. No sound as sweet as welcomes when you've reached your journey's end. As through this wandering life we roam, where find we friends, there find we home. Well met, Godspeed, and fare thee well, till next we time do spend. So raise a glass to absent friends, to those we hold most dear, for in such fond remembrance we all have comrades here. And when our valiant tales are told of mirth and greed and exploits bold, no distance, time, nor hill and dale can hide them from us here. So merry meet and merry part, merry meet again, in this world or beyond,
thank you for tuning in
Thank you so
to
much.
Life's Affair. We hope you stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you down the road. We're Judas and Magnolia. Thank you. Thank you, folks.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. We are the Langers Ball from St. Paul, Minnesota. And we are thrilled to be here for Life's Affair. We're going to play for you part of our Whiskey on a Sunday show. This first song is an original tune called Whiskey Outlaws. Oh, they'll loading like clouds of locusts, strip your branches bare with lust in their hearts and thirst beyond compare. The window glass will shake, the locks won't keep them out. They'll pass along the shadows, or they'll fill your head with doubt. Give a sign of your contrition, step lightly on the ground. Lock up your sons and daughters, you dare not make a sound. Dim the lights and draw the drapes like no one is around. It's far too late for an escape. The whiskey outlaws are in town. They'll tear your beating heart out of your chest. Take a bite and leave the rest. Just to get a taste of every man, woman, and child. Set fire to your homes. They'll leave this town in ruins. Desolate, defeated, living, and even dead. Give a sign of your contrition. Step lightly on the ground. Lock up your sons and daughters. You dare not make a sound. Dim the lights and draw the drapes like no one is around. It's far too late for an escape. The whiskey outlaws are in town. Here we go now. Except to sit there and wait. Devils spawn, they sprung from hell, kicking down the gate. Blood and guts and whiskey is there, intoxicates. And give a sign of your contrition, step lightly on the ground. Lock up your sons and daughters, you dare not make a sound. Dim the lights and draw the drapes like no one is around. It's far too late for an escape. The whiskey outlaws are in town. Here we go now.
sons and daughters, you cannot make a sound. Dim the lights, draw the drapes like no one is around. It's far too late for an escape. The whiskey outlaws are in town. Thank you, everybody. Well, this next song is a little slice of Americana. It's a tune called Rye Whiskey. Oh, Jack of Diamonds, well, I know you most of all. Well, you robbed all my whiskey, my silver and my gold. And whiskey, you rascal, you've been my downfall. Well, you cut me, oh, you kicked me, but I love you most of all. Oh, whiskey, rye whiskey, whiskey, oh, I cried. If I don't get rye whiskey, surely I will die. I'll go to yonder mountain and I'll set up my still. Well, I would make you a gallon for a $10 bill. It's beefsteak when I'm hungry and whiskey when I'm dry. Well, it's greenbacks when I'm hard up and help me when I die. But I'll drink whiskey, rye whiskey, whiskey, oh, I cried. If I don't get rye whiskey, surely I will die. What you got now, Helen? Well, I said whiskey, rye whiskey, whiskey, oh, I cried. If I don't get rye whiskey, surely I will die. If the sea was made of whiskey, oh, and I was a duck, well, I'd swim to the bottom, Lord, I never would come up. But the sea's not made of whiskey, oh, and I'm not a duck. So I will play the Jack of Diamonds and I'll trust on my luck. And I'll drink whiskey, rye whiskey, whiskey, oh, I cried. If I don't get rye whiskey, surely I will die. Well, I said whiskey, rye whiskey, whiskey, oh, I cried. If I don't get rye whiskey, surely I will die. Let's take it on home. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Well, this next song, you guys seem like a smart audience. This next song is about a quintessentially Irish beverage. And clearly, you know, when I say quintessentially Irish drink, that I am talking about delicious Irish.
Whiskey!
No, actually, gin. It's true, Ireland is known for its whiskey, and it's known for its Guinness, certainly, but maybe it should be known for its gin. Because in the south of Ireland in the county Cork, they make a very nice dry gin. It's called Cork Dry Gin. Now, I wanted to write a song about Cork Dry Gin, and I did. And I cleverly titled it Cork Dry Gin. Now, you may be wondering why we're singing a song about gin in a whiskey show. Well, I'll tell you, there's a verse about whiskey, so you'll hear it there. And if you'd like to sing along with Cork Dry Gin at home, there are just 3 words that you need to know, and they are Cork Dry. You know the song already. That's great. It's going to go so well. Well, the whiskey makes me frisky, and I think it's out of sight. That's a drink I'm drinking almost every night. I may wake up with some body aches and want to bubble tight. Then I go for the hair of the dog, and the thing that suits me right is some Cork Dry Gin with some tonic and a lime. Cork Dry Gin, no, it's martini time. I said Cork Dry Gin, and I'll be feeling fine. The Cork Dry Gin, you know the cider's a little lighter. It's nice and sweet and dry. An amber or a golden brown, the apple of my eye. Sometimes I get bored with that, and I must diversify. So I look to the bartender, and you'll hear me cry, give me some Cork Dry Gin with some tonic and a lime. Cork Dry Gin, no, it's martini time. I said Cork Dry Gin, and I'll be feeling fine with Cork Dry Gin. Hey, 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 oh, don't pour me Tanqueray. Beef eaters is not okay. And I don't want that old Bombay, no, I just want, oh God, how I want
with some tonic and a lime. Cork dry gin, oh, it's martini time. I said cork dry gin, and I'll be feeling fine. With cork dry gin, well, I'm a hoarder of the porter. I'll drink 'em by the score. If you drop me in a lake of it, but I'd never go for shore. Sometimes after pints and pints and pints and pints galore, but I wish to Christ and God above that someone would just pour me some cork dry gin with some tonic and a lime. Cork dry gin, oh, it's martini time. I said cork dry gin, and I'll be feeling fine. Cork dry gin with some tonic and a lime. Cork dry gin, it's martini time. So a black hole suddenly appears in a bar, and the bartender says, "What can I get for you?" Black hole says, "I'll take a martini, thank you very much." So the bartender makes him a martini and says, "Can I get you anything to eat with your drink?" And the black hole says, "No, that's okay. I'm kind of a light eater." What? I said cork dry gin, no, I'll be feeling fine with some cork dry gin. Cork dry gin, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Well, this next song is the song that was the inspiration for this whole whiskey show. We do a show, we live stream a show every Sunday called Whiskey on a Sunday. We try to bring on new whiskey songs, new whiskey jokes every week, keep the show fresh. So this is the song that titled our show. This is a song called Whiskey on a Sunday. 1, 2, 3. Come day, go day, wishing my heart it was Sunday. Drinking buttermilk all the week, whiskey on a Sunday. He sits on the corner, old beggar's bush, astride of an old packing case. The dolls at the end of the plank would dance as he croons with a smile on his face. Ya-da-da-da, come day, go day, wishing my heart it was Sunday. Ya-da-da-da, drinking buttermilk all the week, whiskey on a Sunday. His tired old hands, they tug at the strings, as the puppets they dance up and down. A far better show than you ever would see at the fanciest theater in town. Ya-da-da-da, come day, go day, wishing my heart it was Sunday. Ya-da-da-da, drinking buttermilk all the week, whiskey on a Sunday. Then in 1902, old Seth Davy died. His song it would be heard no more. His 3 dancing dolls in the dustbin were thrown, and the plank went to mend the back door. Ya-da-da-da, come day, go day, wishing my heart it was Sunday. Ya-da-da-da, drinking buttermilk all the week, whiskey on a Sunday. Well, on some stormy night, when you're passing that way, with the wind blowing up from the sea, you can still hear the sound of old Seth Davy croon as he sings to his dancing dolls 3. Ya-da-da-da, come day, go day, wishing my heart it was Sunday. Ya-da-da-da, drinking buttermilk all the week, whiskey on a Sunday. Ya-da-da-da, come day, go day, wishing my heart it was Sunday. Ya-da-da-da, drinking buttermilk all the week, whiskey on a Sunday. Ya-da-da-da. Ya-da-da-da. Thanks, everybody. Well, this next song's another drinking tune. It's a song called Johnny, You're a Roving Blade. 1, 2, 3, go! Oh, what would you do when the whiskey's done? Hey, oh, Johnny, what would you do when the whiskey's done? Ain't
game ball, Johnny, you were rolling blade. And what would you do in the summertime? Hey, oh, Johnny, what would you do in the summertime? Hey, my Johnny, oh. What would you do in the summertime? I'd drink cold beer and blood red wine when the weather's warm. It would suit me fine. Johnny, you were rolling blade. Oh, Johnny, you were rolling blade game ball. Johnny, you were rolling blade. Johnny, you were rolling blade game ball. Johnny, you were rolling blade. Oh, yeah! And what would you do if your true love goes? Hey, oh, Johnny. What would you do if your true love goes? Hey, my Johnny, oh. What would you do if your true love goes? There's plenty other flowers, sweet as a rose, and many in the garden grow. Johnny, you were rolling blade. Oh, Johnny, you were rolling blade game ball. Johnny, you were rolling blade. Johnny, you were rolling blade game ball. Johnny, you were rolling blade. And what would you do when it's time to die? Hey, oh, Johnny. What would you do when it's time to die? Hey, my Johnny, oh. What would you do when it's time to die? I'd look St. Peter in the eye. I'll tell him I'm feeling awfully dry. Johnny, you were rolling blade. Oh, Johnny, you were rolling blade game ball. Johnny, you were rolling blade. Johnny, you were rolling blade game ball. Johnny, you were rolling blade. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
This next song is another original song. It is a drinking song because they say write what you know. It's more authentic that way. So anyway, this one is a tune called The Whiskey Chaser. It's an old favorite of yours, and I hope I like it too.
Chaser, and I never get enough. I keep on drinking all that rare old stuff. When the bottle's empty, I reach for one more. I am the whiskey chaser till I pass out on the floor. Oh, I started out in St. Paul's town to drink the buggers out. I finished up their whiskey, then started on the stout. And I headed across the river to play another show. But now the whiskey's gone, so I think it's time to go. Drank across the west coast in Seattle and Spokane. I slogged through Montana, and I'll do it all again. I got pissed in Kansas City, but woke up in Waterloo. I had a bottle up in Fargo and East Grand Forks with you. When I used to chase the women, they left me in a lurch. Then I chased
salvation, but just ended up in church. Chasing fame and fortune, I got caught up by the buzz. Now I'm chasing whiskey, and I always catch my buzz. I am the whiskey chaser, I never get enough. I keep on drinking all that rare old stuff. When the bottle's empty, I reach for one more. I am the whiskey chaser till I pass out on the floor. Well, I got lit in New York City and in Boston and PA. I hit the Bronx and Hell's Kitchen and all the pubs along the way. I'm drinking down to Jersey, I'll head back to the Midwest. Chicago keeps calling where the whiskey tastes the best. Oh, now I'm headed out on the road across the USA. I'm drinking now in this old town that I'd be on the way. There's lots of other boozers, lots of places yet to see. And I won't come back through here until the next delivery. Cause I used to chase the women, they left me in a lurch. And I chased salvation, but just ended up in church. Chasing fame and fortune, I got caught up by the buzz. Hey! Well, now I'm chasing whiskey, and I always catch my buzz. I am the whiskey chaser, I never get enough. I keep on drinking all that rare old stuff. When the bottle's empty, I reach for one more. I am the whiskey chaser till I pass out on the floor. I am the whiskey chaser, and I never get enough. I keep on drinking all that rare old stuff. When the bottle's empty, I reach for one more. I am the whiskey chaser till I pass out on the floor. I am the whiskey chaser till I pass out on the floor.
Woo! Thanks, everybody.
Well, thanks, folks. Once again, it's such a pleasure to be here on Life's a Faire. We're also thrilled to be on the same episode as Judas and Magnolia. So thank you guys so much. We're the Langers Ball. We have time for one more song.
But don't worry, it's about whiskey.
Gotta grab the harmonica. This is another original song. Thank you guys again for joining us here. If you want to find out more about our band, you can visit our webpage at www.thelangersball.com. There you'll find tour dates, which right now are sort of non-existent. But we've also got merchandise for sale, CDs, T-shirts, soccer scarves, cool stuff like that. You can also find that kind of stuff on Bandcamp as well. If you're looking for ways to support us, we have a Patreon page. You can also find us on Venmo at The Langers Ball and paypal.me/The Langers Ball. So this is our last song today. There's a tune called Whiskey from the Still. Well, I know you like your coffee straight black or dressed to kill. Put me on drinking whiskey straight from the still. Well, I said whiskey in the morning, whiskey after 3. All those who like whiskey, come drink it with me. Hey! Seems she'd never get her fill. Well, me, I'm drinking whiskey straight from the still. Well, I said whiskey in the morning, whiskey after 3. All those who like whiskey, come drink it with me. Here we go. There's that Coca-Cola. It seems the bubbles, they give thrills. For me, I'll stick to my whiskey, thank you very much. I'll have it straight from the still. Well, I said whiskey in that stuff's just swill.
There you go.
That's why I'm drinking my whiskey. Straight from the still. Well, I said whiskey in the morning, whiskey after 3. All those who like whiskey, come drink it with me. Whiskey in the morning, whiskey after 3. All those who like whiskey, come drink it with me. Now I said, oh, to all those who like whiskey, come bring some to me. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time at Life's a Fair with the Langers Ball. We love you all. Take care of one another. Goodbye. I've been a wild rover for many a year. I've spent all my money on whiskey and beer. Now I'm returning, but with golden great store. You know I never would play the wild rover no more. Well, it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play that wild rover. No, never. I told that young Fräulein my money was all spent. I asked her for credit, but she answered me 9. There's such a custom as me, she could get any time. Well, it's no 9, never. No 9, never, no more will I play that wild rover. No, never, no more. Then I drew from my pocket 10 Deutschmarks so bright. You know that young Fräulein's eyes opened wide with delight. She said, I've got a whiskey, I got wines of the best. Weren't there words that I spoke, they were only in jest. Well, it's no 9, never. No 9, never, no more will I play that wild rover. 9, never, no more. Let's show 'em how we roll. I'll confess what I have done, and I would ask them to pardon their poker playing son. If they